Folks, we're back once again. Give Us a Break podcast. Your man Big Holla, aka Big Scream, is here. You know, I got my dogs. I got G.
Yo.
It took him a while because he lagging, and I got my dog left.
Hey, look, while we talking, I'm gonna go into my Wi-Fi. I'm about to go in the crib. I'm getting my Wi-Fi. I'm done with this shit. I'm sick of it.
This man said I'm tired of it, man. Look, real live action, man. Look, I told y'all last week I had a starting point I wanted to get on with the draft class of wide receivers, but I actually want to shift right quick because we did get some amazing news today, as everybody knows, or if you do not know, NCAA college football is coming back. This nigga G is so crazy. How did you get mad at me for the thumbnail last week and didn't do shit like that? And if the thumbnail is that, this week is your fault. I want you to know that now.
I mean, bro, I am, bro.
All right, but yeah, NCAA is back. College football is back. We don't know about the likeness of the players and all that. I've heard that they have the contract to do all that stuff, though. But how do we feel, man? Like, it's been 7 years since we've had an NCAA football game, man. How we feeling?
I mean, will they continue the NCAA concept as far as with the last one? I think it was 2013. Is it going to be as in depth? Will it be a specific like story mode that may connect to eventually Madden? But I want to see what they do with it. Like, I want to see if they carry the same concept as far as even Madden 21 with a yard thing. Like, if they have smaller game modes within the game that are making more enticing. Like, for some people, they just use it to boost their man stats, get drafted. Like, I want to see, do they like have the NFL Combine at the end of it, and then you get leave it to Manning, or are they going to introduce the Combine more thoroughly?
That's a good
coming
question.
From the college concept. Like, I want to see what they do with that.
Yeah, I believe the new running title is called EA Sports College Football. So it's no longer NCAA. It's just college football, I think, is the
You know what
title.
they're doing? You know what they're doing? I see what they're doing. You remember how we used to be? I don't know. I left for like 2 seconds, so maybe Left just said this. But you know how it used to be where you would make a college player, you would do Road to Glory, and then you can import them into Madden?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you look at Madden, they got the college football playoff, but there's no NCAA anywhere. I think that it's going to be the same world. I think it's going to be a combination. You're probably going to be able to import your roster, your draft class. I got very high expectations for NCAA. I can't lie.
I do. I think we all do, especially with the fact that you mentioned it. You know, Face of the Franchise has been something Madden has been promoting for the last 2 to 3 years now. I believe starting with Madden 18 or 19. I can't remember. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I do think if there is a quarterback-like mode, like Left said, or a story-driven mode in the game whenever it does drop, it probably will have some way to go to Madden. I don't know if it'll be as soon as Madden 22 or Madden 23, whichever the case may be. But I just pray it's nothing like Madden right now, because then I just won't play it. I'll just pass.
You know, like Madden is in a very bad state right now. And I'm not, I don't even play. I don't even start the game up. You know, it's just so bad. It's just, and I'm an offline dude. Saying I usually have fun offline because I don't have to deal with people. But man, like I can't even play offline anymore. It's just so broken, you know. And I'm just hoping NCAA they're going to use the same engine. That's the problem. They're going to use the same engine.
That is a piece. I didn't even think about that.
They're going to use the same. Like it's not going to be like the old gen. It's going to be a completely different engine. No, they're going to use the same engine, and that's a problem. Because I will say Madden does have some good elements to its engine. I've seen things I liked about it, but I've seen more things that I hate, like always. But I think NCAA always had the better group of developers. So if they bring those same developers back, I feel like NCAA, I feel like it's going to be like NCAA 14, but updated. That's what I'm thinking. I think it would just be an updated version. You know, they're going to update those.
It doesn't require, there's not much to what you have to add as far as the college football concept. I mean, more of the school celebrations, more so than the personal ones. little ticky-tack shit like that. What I want to know is, because you know how EA is with this in-game purchase. So what type of catalog are they going to create for in-game purchase? And does that, if somehow, some way, there's some type of, I don't want to call it.
You know
Do
they
the
had.
players get money off of that? Is
Yeah,
what I want to know.
They got Mutt in the NCAA. They had them. They had Mutt, and it was real players. Like you can play with the legendary Tim Tebow or Michael Vick or Vince Young. You would build your team with players who were raw in college. You feel me? That was their. It was actually pretty dope because you would build like a super team full of the best. You had Sean Taylor, freaking Ed Reed. You could have the whole U. You could have the whole U, bro. On your, like it was pretty dope actually.
I think that would be cool actually. I mean, I think they do have to find a way to put microtransactions in it. But you know, like I said, the problem that is going to come from that is the likeness issue. So I don't know. You know, once you go into Madden or the NFL, you know, once you go into the NFL, you kind of sign your likeness over no matter what, because the NFL is the one that signs that contract for Madden, not the players. You know, the same issue they kind of had with like the Colin Kaepernick tattoos. Sorry, you know, they had to get his tattoo person to sign a contract to put his tattoos in the game back in like Madden 16 or something like that. Otherwise, he couldn't have tattoos in Madden. So certain people are copywriting their things to where EA has to make contracts with them. So it does kind of concern me a little bit to think what is the NCAA sign? Like, have they signed anything? Are the schools the ones that sign stuff? Like, what is the actual contract basis there? But since it's so fresh and it just came out on this beautiful Tuesday, you know, we won't know for some time. Hopefully it's nice and it's not like it's been in the past.
I do know that how EA gets their licenses, they get their licenses by conference, not by school. So I do know that. I think recently they got them by school. Like with the ones they got now, like the last few they got them by school. I think you can get them from them individual programs like Notre Dame. You can go straight to the source. But I think for the most part, you just have to go to the conference. It's like a fucking meeting, you know? And that's how they get them.
But like the reason why I brought it up, because like for instance, like if this is a concept they make, like okay, it's you get your road to glory, you're able to travel to different campuses and play pickup games, shit like that, whatever the case may be, for the kind of like a neighborhood type of thing. Because it seems like it would be something like that specifically for a college. That would be great. So of course you gotta dress your player. You know, you can dress your player in your own team clothing, or you can dress your player in Devontae Smith's jersey. Now, with that microtransaction of buying Devontae Smith's jersey, does a part of that money go to Devontae Smith now that they're able to profit off their likeness?
Yeah, I wish it was that deep.
That's my question.
I wish it was that deep, because that would, you know, I don't think it would, because Devontae Smith is no longer in college. So based off of that, that's where I asked the question about the NFL. If you're selling the NFL players' likeness in the college game, then I do think they deserve royalties based off stuff that's in their name. Devontae Smith, Joe Burrow, all these guys that are no longer in college, technically speaking, they can no longer be in the game as a college player. They're in the NFL. They've signed the contract with Madden. You know what I'm saying? And as far as that neighborhood like mode that you're mentioning, you know, you just gave me a great idea. You know, the yard was supposed to be this great concept in Madden, and everybody was so hyped for it, and it wasn't what anybody wanted from EA.
Terrible.
You know, sometimes you have to go back to your roots, and you have to go back to what you know has worked. You had all these parks and all these random places you could play 7-on-7 football in NFL Street. Why don't you do the same thing with college campuses? There are many fields here in Norfolk. Norfolk State got a practice field that you could just play on just to play. You know what I'm saying? There's many fields in the city you can just go play pickup football. Why not do the same thing in the game? Why don't you bring a part of NFL Street back to Madden or NCAA to incite those fans to make them feel like, yo, just pick up football would be good, a feel-good moment again. That's something maybe the developers have thought about. They may have talked about, but I don't think it gets enough traction from the people. So it's kind of like, all right, maybe somebody should bring this up.
Because
Exactly.
you look at it like, okay, when I was playing football, a lot of the kids that were in college, they'll come on their off season, they'll come out there and they'll still catch rec. So they're playing rough touch, they're playing flat. So it's like, okay, I can do it as okay, I play the season, my freshman season, end of the season, I can go off campus. Let's just call it that, off campus. So off campus, you can go to different areas and they running games 7-on-7. Okay, it's a flag game. This can win X amount of, for I hate to use the term, but VC. So this guy can get here and just start building up, and you can start working towards your off season, and then come back to the next season, your sophomore year, play that, go back. It don't have to be something that you do all the time, but give someone else an option. Like the yard should have been the way the yard was made. It was made like 7-on-7 practice with the NFL.
Okay.
There wasn't nothing necessarily backyard about it. Like if they had done it without the pads, without the helmet, it would just been 7-on-7. You build your strength, and you play rough touch, and you play flag. Like those are the yard games. Those are who's running around with a helmet and practice gear up the street. I'm not doing that. Nobody's doing that.
Well, they did that for the cosmetic enhancements to sell microtransactions. Like you can, I'm
exactly
out the Eagles helmet on. You feel me? I'm out there with the Eagles helmet and the classic jersey on with the, you know what I mean? That's dope. They don't have to take that away, but I like that. I don't mind that. That's not really a problem.
I know. The way FIFA did theirs, the way you can customize your shirt, your shorts, your cleats, that's simple. Your gloves, you don't need nothing extravagant. You want to rock a jersey, that's fine. The helmet, the all the extra shit, we'll look at that like a dude that got a full Chicago Bulls Jordan uniform on the court. Okay, yeah, you look all right, but are you good? I don't care for none of the cosmetics. Like, what was the essence of the game? It's like that hardcore, gritty backyard football. That wasn't that.
Let's take a page
practice.
from the show. So, and we're going to transition to that after this. Taking a page from the show, the same way, when you get your booster packs in the game, when you log in daily or if you pre-order the game, maybe the stuff in the yard that is cosmetic should have gave you some kind of boost. You know what I'm saying? Because it'll make you want to buy more packs to get better items on your character. In football, yes, you need a helmet. Usually you need pads, you need a jersey, you need gloves, arm sleeves, pants, shoes, socks, things of that nature. So if you would have just made the cosmetics all have some sort of feature, and again, I didn't play the yard, so I'm speaking without knowledge here. If you would have had those cosmetics be able to have an effect on your statistics or your attributes, maybe more people would have been more inclined to it. You have very good examples out here of games that already do this. 2K used to do it, and then 2K stopped doing it when you wore certain shoes or certain headbands and stuff. But the show, forgive me, still does that. When you wear certain cleats, you get speed. Use a certain bat, you get power right or left. So you have great examples. I think EA just chooses to be oblivious and not take those examples into consideration.
As long as people keep flooding money into it, they ain't gonna change it. It's working.
I mean, the same thing happened with the show.
Man, I will tell you one thing, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Trading card games are addictive. Like that's what it's addictive to like get that player. Like it does feel good to get that 99 overall diamond player, whatever the case may be. Like I played Diamond Dynasty this year, and I had a blast with it, yo. Like for real. I mean, I stopped playing the show obviously because I was focused on other stuff like 2K, but those kind of games with the trading card style, it is very addictive. I don't mind Mutt or Diamond Dynasty or My Team or I forgot what NCAA joint was called back in the day, but I don't mind those. I don't think they're the problem because they're a completely different development team. Like they're not the same. The same people don't work on that work on franchise mode or dynasty mode or the association in basketball.
The one thing I don't like about the MUT concept is the inability to make you earn a lot of the shit that you get. It's too easy. Like it's at a point where if I was a mudhead and I wasn't playing no other game and I had money to burn, I could easily go search for the 99 card and buy it.
Yeah, that's true. And
Like,
the NCAA version was just called
effort.
NCAA Ultimate Team, by the way.
Okay, cool.
There's no effort put into. A lot of people buy their teams. That's why I never really play it. Because once I get online and I see a straight 99, I'm like, okay, I know there's no challenge that. Yeah, I know you bought your players. So it's like there's no. Okay, yeah, you have the ability to buy it, but you got to have a certain card statue or a certain glossary that you need before you can purchase this card. It's just too easy to again mask your true ability if you really nice enough. Motherfucker can be one-handed and play with a 99 straight team and destroy niggas. Why? Because it's the 99 team. It's going to cater to the attributes.
That's a fact.
That doesn't make you better than me.
Yeah, that's very true.
Like,
People,
they need to regulate that a lot more.
I just want to say
to gain my interest.
The biggest problem in sports gaming is, and you really just proved my point with what you just said. The biggest problem with sports gaming is we don't have fun no more. Everybody just wants to win.
Yeah.
Nobody plays to have fun. You remember those days where even recently, old days, we would just hoop to have fun. Like, we want to win, but it was mostly about having fun. And now you got people cheesing the game because they just care about their win-loss. Like, I had people argue yesterday in 2K about their win-loss record. Like it's not a team game. Like, people really party arguing about win-loss records, you know? And I'm just like, what about having fun? And that's the point I made earlier, Left. Like, when we lose in 2K, I still had fun per se. I hate losing, but I still had fun. And I think sports games, we need to get back to that. And that goes to what you just said. People buy their teams because they don't want to have fun. No one cares really about the grind and building your team where you can just spend $200 and build a 99 overall team. You know, like, people just want to win. They don't want to have fun. Me personally, I choose fun because you're going to compete regardless. But some
people find grinding the game as fun. Some people find wasting their money as fun. If they got money to waste, they just feel like, oh, I got money, let me just go shell out. And then when I win, I have fun. But like you said, most of these people, and it's crazy, they're content creators too. And then when they lose,
I was just about to get to that.
Why am I losing? I bought my team. Bruh, you didn't put no effort into learn the game. You're trying to abuse the mechanics of the game so that you can have a higher chance of winning. But when you actually put time in and study how the game works, it don't matter the players you got. You put the dedication and the grind in to understand what does work and what does not work. Now, if you have better players, of course, it'll work in your favor. But if you just doing something cheesy just to do it, it's not going to always look good for you.
Running Tyreek Hill on the streak every time. Just a stat pack.
Yeah, I never... Like, maybe because we're older, but I just don't see the fun in taking advantage of something cheesy that can't be fixed. Like, taking advantage of something that the game can't fix, you know? Like, what's fun about that? Like, do people not want to compete anymore?
No, people only care about win. People care. It's like I said before, I said this in the party the other day, dude. You want to be a superstar or you want to be a winner? Some people just want to win, and it shows when we play 2K. Some people want to be superstars and just have their stats look good. But, I mean, if you drop 75 points and lose, do you really feel good? I gave you a bucket, but you lost.
If you and I hate to blame it, but this is my opinion. But I think streaming it takes a lot of fun out of games. Because,
to be completely honest, streamers and content creators ruin every game.
They do.
Yeah, content creators.
They do,
because they're going to get on and show you how to cheese the game. Now the whole world is doing it.
Yep,
that's
a product more of YouTube than it is just streamers and content creators. But I mean, content creators are on YouTube. YouTube is a content creation tool. So when people were doing cheesy things, hey, what's up, guys? My name is Night Scream. Here's how you cheese this so YouTube is the main reason it happened. And then now that you can live stream instead of have to actually edit and put the clips together and you can show people in real time, got worse. It just got worse. So I do agree with that. It's not a bad
And I'm not bashing streamers and content creators at all. I'm not. No. But I will say that when it comes to content creators who create the videos that show you how to cheese or how to earn something really fast and shit like that. And I'm not saying that everybody should have to grind. Like for instance, like the grind to 99 and 2K or the grind to get all your badges is unnecessarily long. I'm not saying that isn't a problem, but that's neither here nor there. Because that's the point. That's the counter argument people will try to make is who wants to grind. That's the counter argument. But my point is, it's a problem when you are giving people reasons to not play the game to have fun.
Yeah, there has to be a balance.
You're telling people, hey, why would you go and learn how to play when you could just run to the right and then do a dribble pull up for a green light every time?
There has to be a balance from the developer standpoint to understand, you know, I think what got lost in translation too in gaming in general, developers were once gamers who wanted a good game. And you lost your way of understanding that you wanted to develop a good game. You're a consumer also when you play these games. So don't lose sight of the fact that you were once the consumer. So if you go and get your degree and you become a game developer and you have a direct impact on how good or bad a game is, it directly reflects your experience as a gamer. That's just my opinion. Because if I played 2K since 2K9, which is what's the truth for me, and I went to go work for 2K as a developer, and y'all are my personal friends, and y'all are asking me, yo, bro, why 2K not getting better at this when we complain about this to you? Y'all gonna look at me like I'm crazy if I don't answer properly, because you know I'm one of those people who have complained about certain things in the game.
Now,
devs has got to take responsibility, in my opinion, on that front, but, you know.
To combat that, you also got to understand how big of an impact streaming has had on game development in itself, to the point where they make these games so easy to win. Because in all honesty, as a viewer, if I don't feel like playing the game today and I'm just on YouTube trying to look at streamers play Apex or whatever, I'm not looking for the guy that's literally can't catch a win or can't catch a body whatsoever. I'm going to look for the tryhard. I'm going to look for the one that gets 26 kills in an Apex round. Like I look for that. So game developers start to look at it as, okay, well, the bigger this streamer gets, you know, we get a piece of that. So I'm going to make a game that's going to continue to flood his viewers and it floods money back to me. So sometimes they don't even give a shit about updating it and patching it. As long as that particular person is making the money that we need them to make off of this game, we're going to make it off of sales. We're going to make it because people want to buy it. But as long as this person keeps bringing us back money, we're going to keep doing it this way.
Yeah, I mean, and that's not even the developers, though. That's the suits that do that. That's different. Yeah. That's the suits that are like, all right, if y'all gonna keep buying this shit, I'm going to keep selling it to you. Like, business 101. People are supply and demand. If you're going to keep demanding this shit, I'm going to keep supplying it to you. You know, you want to keep buying these MUT coins, you want to keep buying my 10 points and whatever. I am going to give it to you. As a matter of fact, here you go. Here's more.
I think people that's a gambling issue, but that's not
neither here nor there. But that's my point is like the point Left just made is a good point, but that's more of the suits rather than the developers and the content creators. That's the people upstairs who we don't know. That's corporate. Yeah, exactly. That's corporate. Exactly. Yeah. People sit at the table and never played a game in their life, but they know how to run a business though. Never hoop they know how to run a business. That's those people.
Speaking of business to be handled, you know, we've been waiting for this a long time. MLB The Show is finally coming to Xbox after the longest wait time of life. We have not had a real MLB game on Xbox since 2013 when the last 2K game dropped. And I believe that's when 2K was doing the $1 million challenge with Roy Halladay, God rest his soul, was on the cover. RP. And MLB 2K was a very good game. They had very good mechanics back then before the MLB signed that exclusive deal with San Diego Studios. But I think I'm very excited for the show to finally come to Xbox. I no longer have to technically own a PlayStation, so I'm excited about that.
That's my point. Like, I don't have to go out here and buy a PS5, and I sold my P4, so I mean, all I got is my box. You know what I mean? So I knew it was coming, but now that they found it out, I knew it was coming. But now they finally said something.
Bro.
Let's go.
My God. That was brutal.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, man. I had to catch him right there. That was bad.
That was brutal.
That was bad, man. All I got is my box. That's
all
a good
I got
one.
is
That's
my
bad.
box. I got you. No, I got you, bro. I got you.
No, but real talk though, bro. Like, we get the show. I mean, I love MLB 2K. I used to love the college one, but I ain't gonna lie to you. The show got it when it comes to baseball games.
It's too dynamic, man.
It's so dynamic. It looks
too
good.
Dynamic.
It looks good. It plays good. I never have any problems when I hop on the show. When I get mad at 2K or whatever, I just hop on the show and run some Road to the Show. Or I run some Diamond Dynasty. And I have fun. Every single time. The presentation is there. It's amazing.
Very.
The graphics are obviously amazing. The gameplay is perfect. It plays like baseball.
You know what I think is a really good thing too?
It's
And I think a lot of
like it's supposed to.
A lot of games should add this. You know, when I said dynamic, and you just reminded me, I haven't played the show in a while. It's been like 3-4 months. So the show has this feature on gameplay that other games don't have, where they have dynamic difficulty. So you can let the difficulty go up based on how good or bad you become in the game. So you can start off at like beginner, then go to rookie, then veteran, and I don't know what the last one is.
It's like beginner, intermediate, rookie,
brutal.
all-star. It go all the way up to like legend. Like
legend is brutal.
Yeah,
legend
like brutal. I think that more games. I think a lot of companies don't understand that too. You have a lot of good examples out here of what you can add to your game that may make your player base grow. Dynamic difficulty is something that I think every game should have. Like, if I don't want to be on a set difficulty, if I'm just ass one day and I just want to chill and I'm on a playthrough that's like very chill, I just want to be ass. I'm sorry. It is what it is. But if I want my challenge, then I'll go play on my challenging character. That's just what I think. So.
And that's why I love the show. Like, that's a very, very, very underrated mechanic. It's the dynamic difficulty system. And that's been in the game forever. And people don't talk about that. But that's not a very the mechanic that more, like you said, more, not even just sports, more gaming companies should look at in general, because it helps level you out. If you're having a bad day, you don't have to quit the game and go change the difficulty. You're just going to have a bad game. It's going to go down by itself. That's a very good point. That's
what I hated. And this is slightly off topic, but that's what I hated about online multiplayers and how it transitioned into a level up ranking system versus how Gears of War 2 was a true skill system. So basically, bronze is how you started, silver means you was high, but gold meant you was nasty. So when you pulled up in that lobby with that gold star, you're like, oh, all right, we got to watch out for him. Now it's like, you can rank up to level 4,500, and it doesn't mean you nice, it just means you played the game a lot.
Yeah, I think, you're bringing up a good point, and I'm glad you've brought this up, because I've always taken an issue with this, and this is something that I still think specifically Call of Duty is the main game that has this very big problem. And this is strictly opinion-based. This is not a fact. So for anybody listening, before you try to run somewhere and say, oh, this man just listen first. Skill-based matchmaking is fine. I do not hate skill-based matchmaking. In shortened, it's SBMM. But the problem is when you don't split your servers between public or pubs and ranked playlists. The perfect example of this was Call of Duty Black Ops 2. And like you said, Gears of War 2. The system was split between ranked, where you could play with all your friends, or pub stomping. You can just go play public and casual to go chill. All right, cool. In pub stomping, you're going to run into tryhard, you're going to run into casual players. You're going to have a balance of good and bad games. Currently in Call of Duty, since Modern Warfare, which is last year, you have it to where public matches are always skill-based matchmaking. So if you got a KD of 1.5, you're only playing people between like a 1.3 and above. You're not playing nobody with a 1.3 or less. You're not playing anybody of a lower skill cap, so you don't have a balance. So if you're having a bad day and your KD shoot down to like a 1.2, you had a bad day and you're pissed off because it's like, yo, there's no balance. And you have big name content creators out here that are mad about it. People who stream Warzone that are mad about it. There's no balance. And the simplest way you can balance this is just create a ranked playlist. There are people that want to be tryhards and be good, like you said, and have that gold star on their name or have that some kind of feature next to their name. Smite does it to where if you're top 100 with a character, you get a gold star at the top of your character. If you're top 50, you get platinum, where you get a platinum greenish look thing. If you're like top 10, you get a diamond. So like, why it's cool to have the cosmetic and the aesthetic, you have to know how to split it. In Smite, you only get that stuff if you play ranked. If you play casual, which is just a regular queue where you can play with 5 people, you don't even get that stuff. Ranked, you can only play with one other person and go in Smite. Call of Duty doesn't even have a ranked system anymore. So it's like some of these games need to remember, like, yo, there are tryhards that want to do this ranked stuff. Everybody can't, like, there are kids that hate playing Call of Duty now because they can't be good. There are no more Christmas news.
Apex is another one where
that shit there is bad.
You would get matched up like me. I haven't played Apex in God knows how long. So for me, it's like getting back on it will feel kind of like a beginner, rookie. I'm getting used to it. You're putting me in a match with somebody that just won 3 championships 4 years in a row, and you got me in the same lobby with him, and I'm about to get smoked. So it's like you don't group them. My issue just was there's nothing to achieve. Like everyone wants to reach the highest point, and it's just there's no effort into getting there. It's just duration. How long you've been playing the game, it gets you there. Not, if you got to a 99 to 2K, that means you was nasty. That means you did X, Y, and Z, and you're here. Okay, I really got to worry about him. Now, it could be a 99 because he played 6,000 park games, and now he's a 99.
Yep.
Doesn't make him good. It just means he plays 6,000 games.
Yeah, and in Apex with the rank system there, to my understanding, if it's still the same as it was in season 6, basically, like, if you get carried, like, let's say you got somebody who was a Masters player last season, and y'all all started bronze when the season restart anyway, you're going to have the people that go from bronze to diamond in no time because they just sweats. That's what they do. But for the people who are already, like, trash and want to get carried, they can go in that jank with 0 kills and win and do, like, 1,000 damage.
Yeah.
Like, that's, to me, like, rank, I think Smite has it kind of sort of correct in a sense in rank where you can only play with one other friend, but it's kind of trash when you play a 5-player game mode and then the other 3 people just throw the game and you lose out on your rank because of that. I think they gotta create a little bit more balance with it, but a lot of these games gotta figure their rank modes out because playing rank don't mean nothing now. It just means like you really sweat really hard or you get carried. There's no in between. Where's the skill gap?
What skill gap?
I really think a true skill system across the board. I don't like this level up rankings. I prefer the true skills. So I know when I come into a lobby, okay, this motherfucker means business. It's hard to evaluate people. Like I could go into a Call of Duty lobby right now. A guy be 156, but his KD's of 0.3.
Yeah.
Like, what does that prove to me? Like, I'm a higher ranking than you. Yeah, because you played the game a lot. You played the game for 6 days.
Yeah, and that's part of why they did the skill-based matchmaking, though, which is why it's kind of an issue in a sense, only because, like, most of the people that are going to be higher in that skill-based matchmaking are going to have those high-ass levels. But if you, like I said, let's say you got a 0.8 and I got a 1.9, if you come in my lobby, bro, you are just going to struggle. Because you ain't going to see nothing but dudes with like 2.0 KDs. It's just going to be nuts. You ain't going to have no fun. You're going to be mad the whole way. You're going to be pissed.
But back to the show. So I'm a religious show player. And I don't have an issue with the game as of right now. The only issue that I do have is the NPC interactions in between games. I feel like they can get more in depth in that. I feel like the road to the show story, like you can put a story behind it. You can get more in depth into road to the show. The mechanics and the game itself, I have no issues with. I enjoy it fully. As far as the extras around the game. I think they can get more in depth with it. I think they can get better with it. I think you can add storylines. Like the whole friend rivalry thing is cool, but get more in depth into that. A press conference talking shit about the pitcher you about to face in the next game. Like there's things that you can do to entice people to play more. It gets to a point where it's real repetitive and it kind of gets boring after a while. So you got to throw some things in to just keep people's interest in. Like kind of like how 2K is good for that as far as my career, where while you're in the season, there'll be certain cut scenes and things like that, little things that you got to do just to keep you interested in continuing to play my career.
Yeah, 2K is the gold standard for career mode. I'll give them that.
Right. So if the show developed a concept like how 2K has with a neighborhood, you can go to other people's neighborhoods, and it don't have to be nothing crazy. It don't have to be a big ass game. It could be a 7-on-7 softball game. Things you can go to different fields and you just start building your player. Like I was saying with the college thing, or some off-season shit, like or some off-campus shit, and just get more in depth with the game.
I mean, I would just say, I mean, you're right about all of that. That's my problem with Road to the Show. I love it, but after a while, it's just you playing games. It's not really anything to look forward to.
Yeah.
So that's why. I mean, but that's what. Do you play Diamond Dynasty?
I play it, but I like Road to the Show a lot better.
Yeah, me too. I agree. So
I just feel like that mode though.
That argument right there, like not argument, but that point you just made is minuscule compared to the gameplay itself. The gameplay itself and the presentation for MLB is really good. So I can put up. I think their Road to the Show was capped out for current gen. I think they used all the data they could for that game. I think what we got was the best that we can get on current gen. And now on next gen, it's probably going to be fairly similar for the first year. But I think we're going to start seeing them take new heights because everybody's watching 2K. Everybody's seeing what 2K does as far as career mode goes. 2K sets the standard for career, and everybody's watching. Look at EA. They're trying to do what 2K does, but on the football level, So I think MLB, they're going to get there. I have 100% faith that they're going to get there. They're going to, everything you're saying, it may not be exactly what you're saying, but they're definitely going to have major improvements over time. Maybe this year, they're going to have major improvements. So, I mean, we'll see.
It's just, that's the only issue for me, is the NPC with the training and the interaction with your teammates.
Yeah, it's like really, really generic. It's really generic.
Real base RPG type. Like it was just like, can you get more in depth with that? Can you have better interactions? And then also the signature celebrations. Like almost everybody in the league has one. So it was like for Road to the Show, I want to have more signature, the Jose Bautista bat flip, the bounce off the bat. Like there's different ones that people have that you just can't find. And they got some cheesy ones that I wouldn't really care for. That's for the little kids. That's not for somebody that's really, really into the game and the sport and want to develop their pair to be the next King Griffey Jr. Like, so that's just those little things for me.
But ultimately,
we'll see what happens.
Xbox now, I'm looking forward to it. I don't care if it's the same game last year.
Yeah, I look forward to it every year.
They're taking out.
They would take that.
They're taking out year-to-year saves. They're taking out year-to-year saves.
If they're doing that, you know what that means? Road to the Show won't be the same game because you can't transfer it year to year now.
And I will say this too, though, and this is the highlight for me, and I tweeted this. The biggest thing, and even though we're staying on the Xbox side of stuff, obviously, at least me and you are left. I don't know what you're gonna do. I ain't gonna talk for you. Cross-play is confirmed. You can do cross-play franchise, cross-play online, cross-play anything in the show. San Diego Studios might need to take on more sports games because if you coming out with cross-play after just a year of development, knowing next gen was coming, That's crazy.
Is it cross though?
Yes. When I listen to this on the fact website, it literally says cross-play meaning PS5 to Xbox Series X, and cross-gen meaning Xbox Series X to Xbox One. It literally I'm about to go get the fact again and correctly read it. Hold on.
My problem with that is, what's the point of getting on next gen then? What would be the difference? Like, I thought next gen is a more powerful console, so it'd be a different game, you know?
Well, okay, so it's not. So hold on. Let me say this though. It's only cross-generational within the console ecosystem. So it's not PS5 to Xbox One. It's PS5 to PS4 cross-gen, like that. Oh, okay. It's Xbox Series X to Xbox One cross-gen, kind of like Call of Duty is, and Smite and Destiny. It's not like 2K. It's less like 2K. Okay,
that makes.
But it is cross-play to the available across platforms, meaning it says PS5 to Xbox Series X and PS4 to Xbox One. So the same generation can cross-play with the other console, but you can't do cross-play between the gens, meaning PS5 to Xbox One and Xbox to PS4. Let me clarify that.
All right, I mean, it's still cool though. That's still cool. I mean, we can still play with that.
Yeah, so as long as somebody has a PS5, we can play with them cross-play. There is one factor that is missing right now, and the news doesn't come out until March. The collector's edition doesn't have a price just yet, but like we mentioned previously about the 2K price point, next gen costs $70, current gen costs $60. If you buy the collector's edition, you immediately get the free upgrade no matter what. But if you're strictly playing on next gen, if you want the next gen version with all the enhanced upgrades and features, you have to pay $70. So that is looking like and that's both systems. It's not just one. So it is looking like next gen games are going to get that $10 increase in sports games at least, or high AAA titles. So
why? Like, I guess they're trying. I don't know. I guess they're trying to justify the power of a next gen console. Like, oh man, we got to charge you $10 more because this game is way more intense. It's way more in depth. It's taking a lot more development time. So we have to, you bump it up $10. You divide that by 3 million people. Your company's going to get paid.
Probably so. And another feature that is there, similar to what Bungie did with Destiny, cross-saving is a thing. So if you own a PS5, but you give your PS5 up for an Xbox because you ain't got no friends on PS5, you can cross-save. I don't know how they're going to do it yet. I don't know their system. I can't speak on it. But you can play from your Road to the Show on PS5 on your Xbox if you have the game over there. And the way it works to give people a kind of idea what cross-saving is, if you own the same game on 2 different platforms, you can still access all of your stuff that belongs to your character on the other platform. So Destiny, I play mainly on Xbox, but all my stuff on my character is also on PC. That's how cross-saving works.
Well, they save it to a cloud, though.
Yeah, I just wanted to explain for people who don't know.
Universal server for everybody. So that's how you can just pick it up from your cloud.
Some people ain't the brightest, so you got to explain it to them. That's all. People don't like to use Google, so. Yeah, people don't like to Google things, so you know how that go.
We ain't got nothing to say about that.
Yeah, we ain't gonna get into that though, man. All right, I'm gonna go to this sports thing because I really do want to get y'all opinion on this this NFL wide receiver draft class from 2014. So looking back at the 2014 draft class, I have it listed in the chat for you guys. All the wide receivers that were taken in that draft. Some of them are out the league. Some of them are no longer as good as they once were. And some of them are just now reaching their peak form. Some notable names to mention from the first round, obviously, are Sammy Watkins and Mike Evans, both of whom are in the Super Bowl this coming Sunday. Odell Beckham Jr., Brandon Cooks. And the last one is no longer in the league, Kelvin Benjamin. So I know he won't be at the top of anybody's list. Other notable wide receivers from this draft class, Jordan Matthews, Marquise Lee, Paul Richardson, Devontae Adams, Allen Robinson, Jarvis Landry, Dante Moncrief, John Brown. Who else is still in the league out of this? Martavis Bryant. Another good one was Jeff Jennings, Quincy Enunwa. Jerry Aberdare was okay for a little bit. But out of these receivers in this draft class, man, like who will be your definitive number one guy out of this draft class 7 years later?
I mean, outside of him having one bad year, I would still say Odell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who you say was the first round? It was Odell and Sammy.
So the first round, well, the first 2 rounds, I'll be fair. Sammy Watkins, Mike Evans, OBJ, Brandon Cooks, Kelvin Benjamin, Marquise Lee, Jordan Matthews, Paul Richardson, Devontae Adams, Allen Robinson, Jarvis Landry, and Cody Latimer were all the first 2 rounds. Josh Huff, Dante Moncrief, John Brown were all round 3.
So what I just heard, and I've been a fan for a while, so I would go Devontae Adams 1, OBJ 2, Mike Evans 3, Sammy Watkins 4.
So the debate in 5 is like, do you pick? I'm not picking Brady Cooks at 5. He just I don't know. I agree with your entire list. My debate at 5 is Jarvis Landry or Allen Robinson.
I was just about to say, I think between those two, I know Allen Robinson is more of a get up and go get it guy, but Jarvis Landry is more of a tool that you can put in so many different places on the field. So I think I'm taking Jarvis Landry for the simple fact that he has the route running, the hands, and the short catchability. He can turn the short play into a long play. Allen Robinson isn't really that guy. He's the deep ball guy. He's the go and get it guy. But you can use Jarvis Landry in so many different ways. You can even put him on kick return.
Jarvis is a switchblade.
Exactly.
He's a switchblade. I agree with you.
I will put him at number 5 because he's still not better than OBJ. I mean, he's better in a system than OBJ, but with the right quarterback, OBJ would trump that shit. But I think
that's the problem that I have with Allen Robinson because Allen Robinson had
Blake Bortles.
And then he had Mitchell Trubisky.
And he was shining regardless.
And it's like, okay, but then you give him a competent quarterback. If you give him a Dak or you give him a whoever outside of where he's at, I think his stature would have been a lot better. Plus, he played beside Allen Hurns, and Allen Hurns was the number 1 at the time. And
Allen Hurns was
that whole thing with that. So
then Marquise Lee was there in Jacksonville too before he got hurt, and Allen Robinson had to step up, which is why they went and drafted D.D. Westbrook before Allen Robinson left.
So I was like, I think it's a factor that happens in all sports. It could be a very good player, but depending on the system you go to, an organization that you become a part of, can hinder your progress. And we've seen that happen to a lot of guys where, man, if that motherfucker was on another team, I know he'd have been killed. Or the Brandon Roy thing. Oh, man, if that medical staff was a lot better with Brandon Roy, where would he be at in the league? So it's like where you get drafted sometimes can kill your progress.
That's very true.
Like, I feel like Baltimore might kill Lamar Jackson's progress.
Yeah.
That is true. And you make a good point because when you look at all these players who've been drafted and who's on the team that drafted them, Mike Evans and Devontae Adams are the only 2. Because Jarvis is on the Browns, Odell's on the Browns. Paul Richardson was on Washington. I think he's out the league now. Cody Latimer's out the league. Jordan Matthews out the league. Marquise Lee tore his knee up. He's out the league. Kelvin Benjamin out the league. Sammy Watkins is in Kansas City. Brandon Cooks is on his 4th team in 4 years. So,
but even with Sammy Watkins, like you look at Sammy Watkins quarterbacks from Buffalo,
Nathan Peterman, Ryan Fitzpatrick. I can't remember who else because he was gone before Josh Allen came. I can't remember who else because he went to the Rams. He had Goff. He had Goff because he was on the Rams.
Was it Goff or was it which we'll call it first?
Who you talking about?
Sammy Watkins. He had Goff. He had Goff for 1 year before he left.
I know he had Goff, but who he had before that? Was it I can't remember his name.
Bradford wasn't there, was he?
No, hell no.
Bradford was gone by that point, right?
He was in Philly.
Yeah, Buffalo in 2016 was when he got traded out.
He had Foles.
Nick Foles was on the Rams. You're correct. Yeah, you're right.
He had Foles. So he had Foles. He had Goff. He had Fitzpatrick.
Well, no. That's actually not right because he didn't get to the Rams until 2017 when Goff was already there. So Nick Foles would have just been a backup.
No, okay, so if it was 2017, that means Nick Foles was in St. Louis.
But he wasn't the starter. Jared Goff was. That's what I'm saying. Jared Goff was the starter in 2017. Nick Foles was the backup. He had him as a backup, not a starter. That's what I'm saying. He was on the Rams for 1 year because he got traded. And then he went to the Chiefs on a free agent contract and was immediately with Mahomes in 2018.
Facts. Damn, I feel like he's been in the league way longer though.
It's been 7 years. They all been in the league for 7 years. That's why I'm trying to think of the Buffalo quarterbacks he had. I'm trying to remember that much. I don't remember the Buffalo quarterbacks he's had.
Was it Fitzpatrick?
I know Ryan Fitzpatrick was there. I know that for a fact. I'm about to go look at the quarterbacks now. I'm looking right now, actually. I'm looking
at Tyrod Taylor that time?
He had EJ Manuel. That's who it was.
Freaking Manuel.
It was EJ Manuel. His rookie season, he had EJ Manuel. His next season, he had Tyrod and EJ. 2016, which was his last year in Buffalo, he had Cardale, EJ, and Tyrod still, and that's when he got traded.
Cardale Jones, yeah, he never had a chance.
Yeah, he was on the Rams in 2017, and that's when he had Jared Goff as his starter. He never had Nick Foles, actually.
The shit with Sammy Watkins, though, is everywhere he went, he was the number one.
Yeah.
He was the number one in Buffalo. He was the number one in the Rams. When he came to the Chiefs, he settled down into the number 2, 3, whatever, however you want to slice it. But with the quarterback that he has, he's still going to produce the numbers that he's going to produce as a number one because of Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
So that's the argument I have with Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson, he was a number 2 behind Allen Hurns. And having an incompetent quarterback, now you go to Chicago, where you're at a number 1 now, but you still have an incompetent quarterback. So it's like, had he at some point within these 7 years had at least even a Kirk Cousins, I think we rank him a lot different.
Yeah, you definitely do. And then, Mike Evans has put up 1,000 yards all 7 seasons, no matter who his quarterback was. He's made his first Super Bowl with Tom Brady, obviously. But I think, looking back at that first round, obviously the Saints and the Panthers, ironically in the same division, both got it wrong. And it's kind of crazy when you look at that. But I mean, I think, Left, who is your top 5 in this receiver class right here, though? Like, I think we all can agree Devontae is 1. I mean, we want to say Odell because we give respect to Odell and what he's done. He's elite.
No, I want to say Devontae.
Yeah, like Odell is Odell, But realistically speaking, though, Devontae had, since he's grown, outside of the whole Mike Evans 1,000 yards thing, Mike Evans is a big guy. He's gonna get the ball. It doesn't fucking matter. But I think Devontae has the most elite talent out of all of them. I definitely would say Mike is number 3. Like, I'm not arguing that. He could be like
Devontae. No, quick first step is definitely Hall of Fame.
Mike could be 2 though.
The thing with Odell and Devontae, to me, I think the positions that they're putting makes Devontae look more talented than Odell. I don't see that far of a talent difference. I look at how fast Odell got to the accolades that he got.
Yeah.
At the time that Odell got drafted, they still had, if I'm not mistaken, they still had Victor Cruz.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was just hurt all the time.
Yeah. They somewhat had a loaded offense. Their defense was the issue at the time. So what Odell has done, and I'm just speaking on the Giants because the Browns is
actually Victor Cruz was not there when Odell was a rookie.
So who was on that team when he was a rookie?
What? So he left and came back?
He got hurt that year. So Victor Cruz was on the field.
He got hurt, but he was on the roster.
It was just Odell, Preston Parker, Ruben Randall, because Victor Cruz got hurt.
Yes, sir. Odell went for 1,310.
Because Victor Cruz got hurt. Victor Cruz.
You can't take that away from him.
He tore his ACL.
Victor Cruz was hurt back-to-back years. Yeah, he was on IR 2014 and 2015. And that's when Hakeem Nixon came back. Or that was his draft year, I think, actually.
Yeah, because
No,
I
Hakeem
think
Nixon came back.
Victor Cruz tore his ACL mid-season or something like that, and it carried over into the following season.
Yeah, he just didn't
And
play.
then he he didn't play. So what Odell did coming out as a rookie with Eli Manning, I'll get to that, and just the accolades that he's produced in that short period of time, like I feel like Odell's situation with the Browns didn't pan out because of his name and his stature, and having a coach that required you to, well, we pay that man, so you're gonna throw it to that man. So Odell being a number one receiver shows how talented he is. I think he's a slight more talented. I would put Odell 1. That's just me. Odell 1, Devontae 2. Mike Evans, he's a great talent, and he definitely benefits from the no risk and no biscuit. Not as much this year, but having Jameis and
having deep ball quarterbacks in general has blessed him. He's never not had a deep ball quarterback, realistically speaking. Yeah. He's never not had one. He came in before Jameis, had Jameis all the way through. Jameis started fucking up. You have Fitzpatrick. You know Fitzpatrick don't care. He's launching that bitch. Then you get Brady.
Right.
You lucky he didn't get
He's always had a quarterback that just, like you said, risk it the biscuit. He's always had a quarterback put the ball where he is. And he's 6'5". He's going to go get that bitch.
If he had Brad Johnson, he would have been tight. But
man, stepped out of bounds on the pass.
So you got, for me, it's Odell, Devontae, Mike Evans, Sammy, because of what he's done with what he's had and being able to fit into a role where you have a loaded system and still continue to produce the way you produce as a number one. That's just as much credit to your quarterback as it is to you. And I will put Allen Robinson 5 over Jarvis.
I can respect that.
Yeah.
I just think, and this leads to my next point because I saw this on Twitter. I want to go find the tweet to actually quote it correctly. And I think I'm going to go do that right quick. In short, the tweet basically was saying, why the Rams did what they did in this Goff and Stafford trade. For those of you who don't know, Matthew Stafford is going to the Los Angeles Rams for 2 first-round picks, which is 2022 and 2023. Jared Goff and a 2021 third-round pick. The Rams have now not made a first-round pick and will be in 7 years, their last first-round pick being Jared Goff. Basically what the post said, Matt Miller said, a former NFL VP, is that first-rounders are overrated and overvalued. How many of the teams actually hit on first-round picks? And the Rams are simply eliminating the risk by moving them for established players. I half and half agree because the Rams did hit on Aaron Donald.
Yes.
They thought they hit on Jared Goff. But, they traded 2 firsts, I believe, for Jalen Ramsey, established first-round talent. He established himself as an all-pro corner. 2 firsts. Boom. Give me Jalen Ramsey. Established talent. Okay.
And young.
Leonard Floyd is another first-round talent who's picked 9th overall by the Bears, but he was a free agent signing. So you have 3 first-round picks on defense immediately, just like that. Then on offense, you don't have Brandon Cooks no more there. He's in Texas. I'm sorry.
You have first-round picks.
Yeah, like second-round picks everywhere. You had Todd Gurley, a first-round pick.
Except
cut him loose. You cut him loose. You had Jared Goff, first-round pick. You cut him loose. The only first-round pick you got on offense is Matt Stafford. So you've traded 4 first-round picks for 2 all-pro players at quarterback and cornerback. So I kind of understand what the post was saying about eliminating the risk, but it does beg that question, like, are first-round picks overrated?
I agree. I agree with him, and I agree with him because in basketball, there's only 2 rounds. So that first-round pick is 50 times valuable because you can't miss. If you miss, you're done.
That's why the Ted Stipend rule is there, because you can't trade back-to-back years.
In football, you have 7 rounds and like 80-something schools. Mm-hmm. You have unlimited scouting potential. If you don't hit in the first round, You get first-round talent in the third round. Let's be real. You can get first-round talent in the third. It's so you telling me it's only 32 good players in the draft?
Devontae Adams and Allen Robinson are both second-round picks. Jarvis Landry, second-round pick. DK Metcalf, second-round pick.
Put what he said in the most basic way possible, which is what I'm doing. You're telling me there's only 32 elite players in that draft class, and all 32 of them players in the first round are going to be good? The more likely thing that happens is the second, third, and fourth rounders get overlooked because they have a couple bad games. Jake Fromm, for example, he was a first-round talent, but what he do had a bad pro day.
Pro day. He went a fifth round.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. He was, what was his name? Matt Miller? Matt Miller is a former NFL scout.
Right. And he asked a former NFL vice president this question, and the vice president is who said it.
Okay. Because I've been saying that we overrate those first-round picks like it's only 32 good players in the draft. I can see the number one overall pick because that's a consensus. He's more likely going to be that guy. Like the whole world can see that. But those other, I don't mind trading my first-round pick for a Jalen Ramsey who's only like 24, 23 years old. I don't mind trading my first-round pick for a Matt Stafford who I know is elite and just need to be plugged into the right system. I don't mind that because guess what? If he don't hit, my first-round pick probably wasn't going to hit anyway. So I got Matthew Stafford. He's only like 30 what?
32.
32. So you got him for real. He can play till he's 40. He got a lot of gas in him. He only
had 2 years on his contract, and then we have to also understand with that deal, Jared Goff signed a 4-year contract extension 2 years ago after that Super Bowl that gives him like $134 million over that 4-year period. He's owed like $40 million guaranteed still. So his contract is
I think stupid cap hit.
Me personally, I think that trade was a win-win because Detroit needs to rebuild anyway, so they need those picks. But you have the Rams, who they're ready to win right now. All they need is a quarterback. They're ready to win. Their defense is stout. They just need a quarterback.
See, I mean, I look at the draft. When it comes to the first round, you got 3 tiers. You got your franchise changing, you got position fills, and you got that missing piece. So pretty much, I would say maybe 1 to 10 are your franchise changing picks.
Potentially.
11 to 20 are positions where players are leaving, players are retiring, so you need to fill that position. That's what I feel 11 to 20 is. Talented player to fill a position. 21 to 32 for me is, okay, you were in the playoffs or you were in the playoff hunt and you were missing that one piece to get you over that hump. So the way the Rams look at it is we're going to always be in that 21 to 32.
They're always in that back end.
Because of that 99. Because of 99, we're always going to be in that position. So we've seen in recent time that the lower part of that first round don't really pan out as much. So why risk going through drafting this player, trying to groom this player for it to not pan out? We can move this pick and get an already established player that we know and we've seen work that could fit into our system or fit into the direction we're taking the team to. Because to bring Matthew Stafford brings a West Coast offense. So now, okay, I got Matthew Stafford, I established that. Now I can take picks 2 through 7 and I can fill in the positions I need to fill. We need to get another receiver, get another receiver. Or we can move this piece here. So it's always going to be a win when you move your pick. I just think if you don't, from 1 to 10, if you don't trade that pick for a franchise Deshaun Watson type of player, then it's a waste. You're rebuilding or you're restarting because apparently if you're 1 to 10, you have a terrible year. So for Detroit, you got a young quarterback who may get better in a different system. Might be able to Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, right.
But the thing is, everyone looks at the Ryan Tannehill factor, but has to understand that they had an established running back. If they had a running back that was a rookie that no one knew and didn't have the talent that Derrick Henry had, Ryan Tannehill would not have the career he's having right the pressure of him being in Miami and having to win the game because they didn't have the talent around him to win. You had a young Jarvis. You had a not an old Reggie Bush, but kind of over the hill type Reggie Bush.
Outdated.
And then the defense was stagnant. So Ryan Tannehill had to put it on his shoulders to win the game. So if you don't have to do that because you got that behemoth in the back that can get you 200 yards a game. All I gotta do is throw 6 passes and just make sure I don't lose the game. Yeah, sure. Now Ryan Tannehill looks like a fucking all-pro.
Man,
so
I was just gonna say, when it comes to that Detroit LA trade, I think it was a win-win for both parties.
Agreed.
Detroit desperately needs a rebuild. They got a young quarterback. I mean, we can say we won about Jared Goff, but he's still a young quarterback. Bottom line, he's a young quarterback. He can still turn it around.
And you know what it also does for Detroit, like you're saying? Detroit, basically, they were going to pick a quarterback at 7 if they didn't get a trade. Now that you've traded for a quarterback, you have more options at 7. You don't have to go get a quarterback anymore. You don't have to rely on Justin Fields falling to 7.
Exactly.
You don't have to rely on Zach Wilson falling to 7. You can look at if Devontae Smith falls to 7, get a receiver for Jared Goff.
Exactly.
If Penny Sewell falls to 7, you want to OT to protect your blind side, or you want to go get a guy that's going to be a deep threat. How confident are you in re-signing Kenny Golladay? So I think, like you said, win-win is the right term. The Lions won this trade easily.
And LA got that piece they needed because, let's be real, LA should be winning every year with the right quarterback. Their defense is stupid, and their offense is really good. With the right quarterback, they win every year or at least get to the championship. Yeah. You know, they should be struggling the way they do.
I sure hope so.
I mean, I'll say this about, the NFC West thing here, and this is just a hot take. The Seattle Seahawks
Jimmy
are
G
trying
is
to
still
do
the worst quarterback.
Block dude.
At this point now, yes, he is. That's not even a question. I'm not going to argue it. You're trying to be funny.
It's not even an argument no more.
Yeah, it's not an argument. The rumor is he's going for Kirk Cousins. So let's just leave that as it is right now. Let's not talk about that, right? Because they have an out, they can get him out, and Kirk Cousins is talking about leaving Minnesota. So there's that.
Let's go.
But the Seattle Seahawks are trying to do what the Rams are doing. They're trying to get rid of their first-round picks for those elite talent pieces to do the exact same thing. What's the point? Seattle's made a lot of bad first-round choices. You drafted Rashad Penny in the first round. What the fuck was the point? That man don't even play for y'all for real. That man doesn't play. You wasted the first-round pick that year. Okay, you could have traded that shit. Wasted. All right, this year there's not enough talent for Seattle to do anything with. And like DK Metcalf said, they figured the offense out. You don't have no blockers. You do everything on a whim. Your quarterback ain't as fast as he used to be. Your running back always hurt. What can you do on offense? Then your defenders always hurt. You don't have Seattle just can't. That's why they can't win in the playoffs because they gonna get there by default. But once niggas figure you out every single year, bro, it's over. Once you're figured out, you're dead. Like that's
what does that say?
Once they figure out that all you have to do is force Russell Wilson to have to do everything, that's a wrap.
DK Metcalf didn't get locked up, but Russ wasn't always throwing him the ball. Tyler Lockett wasn't always getting open. David Moore was your third receiver, but he's reliable with his hands, but he's not reliable enough to get open. You don't have a tight end. You had Greg Olsen. He's retired now. So now you don't have a tight end. You had either Jacob Hollister or Luke Wilson. You don't have a tight end. Chris Carson's always hurt. You don't have consistency on offense, and then your defense is always on the goddamn field because Bobby Wagner can't do it by himself. Shaquille Griffin's not Richard Sherman. Jamal Adams is playing hurt. So I got love for Seattle and what they did, but like they're trying to be the Rams, and the Rams outclassed them in the playoffs for that reason. That's why Jalen Ramsey said what he did. Take y'all t-shirt and hat in Cabo.
What does that say about Russ though? Because honestly, it looks like they're trying to recreate the Legion of Boom.
They are.
That's what it looks like.
Russell Wilson is definitely an elite quarterback, but like Keith said, they make terrible picks. They're trying to build around Russell Wilson, but DK Metcalf that was a good pick. But what else? Nobody else can stay healthy. Their defense can't stay
Lockett
healthy.
is always hurt. David
Their
Moore gets
line
hurt.
is
You have no
literally a
depth
bunch
at
of
receiver.
guys.
You have
Their
no
offensive
depth.
line is just a collection of guys. Like it's a collection of individuals. Let's be
You
real
have
here.
no investment. You got one first-round pick on that line, Mike Iupati from the Niners, but you don't have no depth on that O-line.
Like, come
no
on.
depth at receiver. You have all this depth at running back, yet your running backs are always hurt. So, you know, it's a good thing he got a new offensive coordinator to get a new, fresh role into the offense. I'm glad that's happening for him. And I'm not against. We were on this podcast when we first started, all in agreement. Russell Wilson was the leader for MVP when we started this podcast. And here we are some 3 to 4 months later, and it's clear as day this coming Saturday, Aaron Rodgers should be named MVP. I don't know what happened between weeks 11 and 17, but that Seahawks offense just died.
You already answered it. They got figured out.
That shit died fast.
You already answered it. They got figured out. They were figured out.
That shit
It's
died.
not hard to figure it out. You force Russell Wilson to be LeBron. He got to do everything. He got to run.
So horrible.
He got to make elite dimes. He got to make those deal first dimes. He got to put it where no one else can get it but the receiver. He has to run the ball because the running back is always hurt. He has to run the ball because there's nobody to block for him. He has no defense, so he's always on the field. I think Russell Wilson's still elite, but Seattle did a terrible job at building around him. They did a terrible job. That's the bottom line for me. It's the equivalent of what you said earlier, Left. Like, is it really the wide receiver's fault? Is it really Allen Robinson's fault that he had bad talent around him?
Ooh, Allen really Robinson goes to Seattle. Ooh,
it's the same thing.
I mean, he's a free agent, and, you know, pegged rumors for Allen Robinson so far are heavily the Jets and the Bears. It'll be interesting, especially with the Deshaun Watson saga. And sticking with the NFL. Left, I'm just going to let you rant, bro. I ain't even going to say nothing. I ain't got no question. Just go. Just go.
You ain't even got to say what's on your mind. Like, what's going on?
Bro, I asked y'all a question in the chat the other day about, you know, if you were the owner of a team or the president or the GM, whatever role you want to claim it as, how would you build your front office? Left, you've been wanting to rant about these GM hirings. I'm just going to let you go. I ain't got no question for you. Just vent, bro. Just vent, bro. I ain't got no question.
Nah, it's no, because, all right. The Houston situation, it irks me because, well, for one, as a fan, as a Colts fan, I'll be happy when Deshaun Watson's under my division. Cool, fine. You're unhappy, ready to go, bye. My problem is, okay, Deshaun's one issue was he wanted to be involved in the GM hiring and the coach hiring, right? So they had Louis Riddick and they had, I can't remember the other guy's name as far as for GMs. You hired a company to find these two candidates. These are your two final candidates. You decide to turn around and go get somebody from New England. So you didn't learn your lesson from Bill O'Brien. Okay, cool. So now Deshaun Watson wants out. His thought was he was going to hire a black coach. You don't interview any of them. You claim that the enemy wasn't available or you had a bad interview. All right, fine. So Deshaun Watson said he wants out. Y'all run and y'all hired David Culley. Happy for the man. Hope he's successful. But you're going to tell me that now your star quarterback's about to leave. You haven't made no movements. You haven't made anything that justifies this hiring. And then you're going to hire David Culley, who, if he loses his quarterback and can't produce his team in 2 years, he's out of a job.
Because he's 67 years old.
So now everyone's going to look at him with his resume like, oh, yeah, he couldn't take that team, so why would I want him? Now he's back to being the coordinator. So this was your scapegoat. So you don't look like a dick and said, damn, we should have really included him in this hiring. And at least it would have been like, okay, you know what? We'll let you hire the head coach, but we're going to hire the GM. Some type of involvement where you basically said, no, okay, you stay in your position. You're a player. You have no business being up here. So now you're doing that, and leaving this man to pick up the pieces. Like that shit is sickening, and it's starting to see that a lot with a lot of teams. Like, yeah, I know about making this money. You better learn how to throw this ball. That shit is frustrating. Like, it's just people are just talking about it. Like, oh yeah, but well, Sean Watson gonna leave. What they gonna get for it? Yeah, I'm quite sure they'll strike a deal that will benefit them. But still, in all, you hired this man to be your scapegoat. This nigga just killed me with that text. This nigga's an idiot.
I'm gonna just mute that nigga for that one. But nah, you just brought up a good point and it made me think too, though. The Texans put themselves in a really bad spot with this trade anyway, because when you think about it now, they're in the worst position to be in because Bill O'Brien traded everything that they had at their disposal away. The only trade chips that you currently have at your disposal are Deshaun Watson and J.J. Watt, who's on the last year of his deal, and he won out too. And it just makes you think, like, why do you keep giving head coaches personnel decisions? Why do you keep trying to create more Bill Belichick's? And this just came to my phone right now as we're talking about GM hirings. Julio Jones and Matt Ryan are not being traded. So, I'm glad that we hired a coach and a GM instead of just hiring a GM with the dude. I don't understand what the thought process is when ownership decides that, you came from under Bill Belichick. You're a great GM. Bro, what qualifies you to be a GM just because you worked for Bill Belichick? What qualifications does that give you? You worked for arguably the greatest coach in history, but now we're questioning if he's the greatest coach in history because Tom Brady is in the Super Bowl and Bill Belichick barely mustered an 8-8 record. So was it really Belichick or was it Brady the whole time? Now that's the question everybody got to answer. Danny Amendola just came out and said it. Danny Amendola just came out. A former Patriot came out and even said it. Tom Brady was the system, not Belichick. Brady. Like what?
I hear that, but again, people make it seem like Tom Brady went to the Jets. The Bucs, as a franchise, have a losing record. Yes, but it's not as if they were 1-15 every year since they won the Super Bowl in 2002. So they're making it seem like they took a team out of the mud to the Super Bowl. That team was loaded with
that
talent.
team was 2 games out the playoffs last year, but Jameis threw 30 damn picks, and his pick cost him a playoff spot.
Then you add AB, you add Gronk, you add LaShawn McCoy. Like, you add all of these pieces on top of a team
I forgot
that was
they signed LaShawn McCoy and Leonard Fournette.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they signed Leonard Fournette. I forgot about LaShawn McCoy, though.
Shady McCoy was in the beginning of the season. That's why I didn't understand the Fournette thing. But at the end of the day, it was like, that was that point, too. But it's like you took a loaded team already. Then you added Tom. Then you added more on top of that. So it's like they shouldn't have been no less than the Super Bowl with that team. So it's like, okay, he's in the Super Bowl, 43 years old. I get it. I respect it. But they weren't the Jets. They weren't the Jaguars. They weren't the Bengals. You didn't take none of those teams that didn't have a pot to piss in as far as talent, but you took them to the Super Bowl. Then I can say, okay, yeah, now we can have this argument on whether it was Brady or Belichick. Like, Belichick dealt himself a bad hand that he got to get himself out of. But when the level playing field is when we can see. Tom Brady has the advantage automatically. So, yeah, you can say because he's in the Super Bowl that, yeah, it was him and not Belichick. But the playing field is different.
Yeah, that's very true.
But I just don't. Houston can deal Deshaun Watson and be heavily compensated. I mean, at this point, they want 2 first-rounders, 2 second-rounders, and 2 starters with Deshaun Watson. So they can recoup, but you don't want that trade on your head as a first-year head coach. Like, you don't. That is all the pressure of, can this person do it remotely what Deshaun Watson did? Yeah, Deshaun Watson didn't get him to a Super Bowl, but he revitalized that team when it was running with Matt Schaub and literally being 1-15,
And
2-14
TJ Yates
team.
and all that bullshit. Yeah,
You
exactly.
know, you know, DeAndre Hopkins had 14 quarterbacks in his career,
Still crazy
and
to think about.
13 of them was in Houston. So, to have him and revitalize that team, and then now he's traded as a head coach your first year, you literally have to deal with that aftermath. And now the fans are on your ass. The owner's on your ass because he's got to validate this. And the problem I have is Culley will get fired before Nick Casario gets fired. Nick Casario will have 4 years before they remotely start talking about, we might need to move on from it. So he might have 2-3 more bad moves coming after this.
Because depending on how the J.J. Watt thing go, that's going to say a lot. But if a lot of the players are behind Deshaun Watson and J.J. Watt, it says a lot that you should just do right by them. Like, I'm not saying send J.J. to Pittsburgh. I'm not saying that, but if anything, send him to Atlanta. Shit, make it work somehow. I don't know. But
do right by your stars.
Just do right by your players. Like, I mean, Deshaun has full control of where he goes, bro. If he says, I want to go to New York, just facilitate the trade to New York, same way Matt Stafford, the Lions did right by Matt Stafford. Even though Brad Holmes came from the Rams, he said, bro, don't send me to New England. That's the only place I will not go. Don't send me to New England. Okay. It just worked out in their favor. It just worked out in their favor. Well, that is a good piece. He did go back there. So that's a good point. Yeah, he was a horrible head coach. Oh my God. How did he get hired?
But this is my last thing is, like, you look at the head coach hirings, and although Nick Sirianni was a decent offensive coordinator for us, and yeah, for certain people, they've gone through the trenches, they've done everything. David Culley has walked his walk to get to where he's at. I'm not mad at it. Still don't know what he specializes in, but I'm not mad at it. You got to this point, you got your job, do your thing. But I look at guys like Pep. Pep Hamilton has probably been on some of the best coaching staffs
definitely
within his career.
And ain't getting not a shot, man.
And cannot get a lick of an interview. And it's like, but these guys you never heard of get these jobs because they were a quarterback's assistant, or they were a numbers guy or analytics guy. Like, you trying to create an Eric Spoelstra, like you want to do the analytic coach and see how that pans out. But I don't understand it. I really don't. You talk about, these guys don't call the plays. So then how does Josh McDaniels keep getting jobs?
Yeah, I'm not understanding that one either. I mean, like, I like Josh McDaniels, but it's like the Tom Brady effect from New England is why people get hired, not the Bill Belichick effect. That's what I'm starting to realize here.
If Tom Brady called his plays and he ran his own system, what the hell was Josh McDaniels there for? Because Belichick coached defense. So what was Josh doing?
Yeah, it makes you wonder.
So, but he's always, every time a coach gets fired, he's the number one name spoken of.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think his mind for the game is very unique, though. I will give him that credit. His mind for the game is unique. I think that's what they look at, and they're trying to just still take innovation from him and build a coaching tree from under him, because that's how you get farther in life. You build a coaching tree. Look at Andy Reid's, look at Mike Holmgren's coaching tree, and then look at Andy Reid. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of why that worked out how it did. But Mike Holmgren's 1996 Packers team, a lot of those dudes now are head coaches based on the tree he built. So they're trying to go from the way of old and still build that way, but it don't work like that for everybody.
Which is fine, but I can't create my black coaching tree if I don't get the opportunity to make that tree.
Yeah, because Bruce Arians and Andy Reid are going to be the two people that are going to have to do that now. Because, Bruce Arians has the most black people on the coaching staff currently at this time. And then Andy Reid, I believe, is like second. So they're the two people that got to figure it out.
Like, the only thing that'll work for us is if Mike Tomlin gets fired, which I pray he doesn't. But if Mike Tomlin gets fired, that's when you're going to see there's only going to be one that's going to make sure that black coaching tree keeps spreading. You get the Belichicks, you get the Andy Reids, the Mike Holmgrens. Like, you get those coaching trees, but you don't never get a black one because they'll never get you up to that status. Because every time we coach, it's always on a losing team or a team that's been through a debacle. Like, Mike Tomlin got lucky.
Mike Tomlin got blessed.
He got lucky.
Because
we don't get those types. We don't get those type of opportunities. We don't.
But the thing is, everybody knows that, like, Stephen A. Smith addressed that a few times. Like, a lot of sports media have addressed the fact that black coaches are just thrown to the sharks. Like, they don't really get a chance to build a legit team. They're always on these teams that are still going to sink with them. They're not done sinking yet. And then you put the black coach out there.
Yep.
And
Vance Joseph, Tom Bowles. It happens often, man.
Games.
And now both of them are down there in fucking Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. And then they get such a short leash. Like, they get 1 to 2 years.
Vance Joseph had 1 year in Denver and got fired.
Like, they get 1 to 2. I think most teams, this is off topic, but it's just how I am. I don't give a fuck. I think most teams only hire black coaches because they have to, not because they genuinely believe that this black coach can do the damn thing. Why do you think the league had to make it a policy for teams to interview black coaches? It was that bad because it's even deeper than that. The real problem is the upper management, they hire their friends, They hire their friends and their family. They hire people who they're familiar with. And 9 times out of 10, it's not even racism. It's just that they have white friends and family. So they hire the people they're familiar with. It's rare that you get that guy like Mike Tomlin who can pretty much hire his own staff if he wanted to. You don't really get that. Not in football. And I'll just leave it at that. But
the thing with Mike Tomlin is he had to prove that in a short period of time. And
if he wasn't a good coach, he would have been out of here. If he wasn't
that's why he was able,
would have been gone.
He was able to get a seat at the table because of it.
Yeah, bro.
Like you look at Marvin Lewis.
Look how hard he had to work to just get a seat at the table. Like, 2 Super Bowls, freaking man. I don't even want to go over his resume. You already know. But
you look at Marvin Lewis. Marvin Lewis, they say, oh yeah, but Marvin Lewis coached for like 13 seasons.
Man, he was fucking dude's daughter.
Your mic's muted.
That's because the Brown family understands that building a winner takes consistency. Marvin Lewis took the Bengals to the playoffs numerous of times and just could not win because they did not help him build that team.
Isn't he
There's
married
no
to the
way
owner's
around
wife?
that.
I mean, is he married to the owner's daughter though?
I don't know, because Mike Brown is the owner now.
Or it may be the VP, but
president.
He's married to someone in that organization.
He's married, probably. But I just think Marvin Lewis always had it good with the Bengals because the Bengals trusted him. And at the end of the day, if a coach gets you to the playoffs, not the Super Bowl, but the playoffs, you're gonna put more trust in him than anything else.
Because he was bringing money,
and it worked out for them for a number of years. But going forward, the reason Marvin Lewis got fired doesn't have as big as an effect as to why other coaches are not getting hired. His system and the way he played football now just doesn't work for the NFL, and that's not a knock on him necessarily. He just didn't want to evolve, and it cost him his job. It sucks, but they also had very bad drafting processes, bro. You drafted Andy Dalton in the 2nd round, then you let go of him.
Yeah, his coaching.
You drafted AJ Green. You never built.
His coaching staff got him fired.
Built with him.
His coaching staff pretty much got him fired. But
pretty much
those years of him being head coach for being that long, he was bringing money to that city. Every time they made the playoffs, every time they had those big splash games and sold out games, he was bringing money to the city. So that's why he survived that long. Because as long as you're bringing me in money, you may not be bringing in rings, but you're bringing in money. So I'm going to hold you on as long as we can.
And Marvin Lewis is well loved in Cincinnati, bro. Like, he was a icon, honestly. Like, shit. The fact that you can get your team to the playoffs as a head coach does enough for some fans. And that's why Marvin Lewis had the leash that he did. And I have all due respect to Marvin Lewis. I definitely think the Bengals needed to change when they needed it, but I don't think Zach Taylor was the right guy. Like, Sean McVay is a great coach. Don't get me wrong, but overrated is what he is.
Because he's young and he's relatable. That's what made him really.
That's what keeps him there, but he's very overrated, bro. I love Sean McVay, though. Like, I love the guy.
He's a player's coach.
He's a very likable person. I will give him all due credit on being likable, but likable don't mean you can win games.
So why did Sam Bradford want to go to New England then?
Matt Stafford, you mean?
Yeah.
I mean, Matt Patricia was back. Matt Patricia's back. Sam Bradford.
Yeah, Matt Patricia's
We're talking about the Rams, so I get why. But Matt Patricia's back in New England as a assistant, like college scouting director or some shit. So Matt Patricia and Matt Stafford didn't get along. He doesn't want to go butt heads with his old head coach. I
was hearing it. That was his only request. Just don't send me to New England. Like, don't.
Because Matt Patricia's back there.
He probably would have retired
if he got Matt Patricia either.
He probably would have retired if he got traded to New England and sat out for a year.
Yeah,
and came back.
I wouldn't want to deal with that bum ass dude either. Matt Patricia was the worst head coach hire in the Detroit Lions history. You fired a black head coach for that guy.
Hey, got super duper hot take. Speaking of Matt Patricia, looking at the guys Bill Belichick produced, and looking at him now without Brady.
The only one that ever made sense was Eric Mangini.
I don't want
to. The only one was Eric Mangini.
But you could overrate Belichick.
Yes.
And you can
like I said earlier, bro.
Because Brady went to the bowl with Bruce Arians, who isn't a bad coach, but he's not Belichick. He went to his
but
first
like
year.
Lev just said, it's like Lev just said though. The Bucs were already loaded though, bro. The Bucs just needed a better quarterback than Jameis to get far, and that's what they did. They got a quarterback that was better than Jameis. They were already loaded. We can't. It's different if Brady was sitting here leading like
the Jets.
I'm not even gonna say the Jets, bro. I'm gonna say the NFC team to just keep it real, because he wasn't gonna get nowhere in the AFC without beating the Chiefs, which wasn't gonna happen, which made him going to the NFC a better choice. I'll say somebody like
Detroit.
Like if you say Detroit, all right, yeah, Detroit is fine. How he went to like Minnesota or some shit, all right, yeah, he would have had to beat Rodgers anyway. So yeah, like the NFC was Brady's calling regardless, but he just needed to be the same guy he's always been, a game manager for a team that's loaded. The Bucs were loaded. Jameis had 30 and 30, bro. You had Mike Evans. You had Deshaun Jackson.
But Brady already. But now looking at it though, even deeper, Brady and Belichick are a team. I get it. Brady proved that he can do it with no talent around him, no pure talent. You know, like they got the fill-ins, but it was never really. Come on now, let's be real. Brady showed that he can get out here and quarterback without help. But Belichick, outside of 2007. Has Belichick really shown us that he can really coach without a competent quarterback?
Matt Castle. He did it. I mean, I'm not being funny.
That was 2007, right?
He went 11-5 with Matt Castle when Brady tore his ACL. But I mean, a lot of the players for the Patriots this year sat out. So this is kind of an outlier year in a sense, because a lot of those players did sit out. Like Dante Hightower did not play, and people forget about that. Dante Hightower openly opted out. Patrick Chung openly opted out. So you lost what you really pride yourself on, which is your defense. So what can you do? You know, but.
And what was this record with Jimmy G and Jacoby Brissett? When Tom Brady got suspended for those first 4 games?
2-2. So you were 8-8. No, it was 2-2.
It was 2-2. I mean, that's 500. That's average.
What's the same thing they did with Cam Newton? 2-2. You know, and he did that without a lot of his defenders. So I mean, you know.
Yeah, I'll give him that because he didn't have his defense.
I'll say this. We'll have to say that this next season is gonna determine what Belichick really is about.
Yeah, Brady by the play till he like 50.
Yeah, that's what we'll say about that, man. A lot of this other stuff for the next pod.
I do want to say
a lot of the NBA stuff I can just save because we now know that Bradley Beal doesn't want out of Washington. You know, I want to end it on this though, because I know y'all been watching. I know I've been watching, and you know, to my girl.
Two things I wanted to say before you ended.
What?
For one, the Rockets look way better without James Harden. They're playing defense. They're probably the best defensive team in the league. They are. It's a confirmed fact. They are first in the NBA in defensive rating. Well, when Oladipo and John Wall, when I know those two were going to team up in the backcourt, I knew what time it was on defense. Y'all got better. You should have stayed a Rockets fan because y'all got better without Harden. Y'all are moving the pillow around. Anybody can have a good night. It's not just, James Harden go out here and get 50 and let's just hope that y'all win. Now
Nah,
you
no,
don't
we went to Brooklyn though.
will have a good night. J-Dub will have a good night. Freaking Eric Gordon had 30 the other night off the bench. DeMarcus Cousins have
25.
They scored 48
Christian
points in the first
Wood.
quarter last night, man.
25.
Wood cost me $200.
They scored 48 points in the first quarter
Legit.
last night, man.
He's legit. Christian Wood is legit. That Rockets team, I'm not saying they're going to go far, but I wouldn't want to play them in the
We'll be in the playoffs.
They're going to defense. They're going to whoop your ass. And second thing I want to say is I'm taking Brady on Sunday, and I'm just leaving it at that.
Yeah, I guess we should do predictions right here. I'm taking the Chiefs, man. I got the Chiefs. Like I said before, like I told you personally when we were talking, I don't think you can ever play the Chiefs without letting, like, you have to literally be up 28-0, bro. You have to be up 28-0.
Remember what I said, though, bro? Clock management. Look what they're playing against.
While that's very true, while that is very true, the defense was exposed versus Aaron Rodgers a lot in that game, even with clock management. Now, even though the Chiefs are quick strike, they know how to slow the game up too. That's something people don't give them credit for.
That's a testament to Reed.
He knows how to slow the game down and take the game the whole way. He did it with Chad Henne when Mahomes got hurt, even though they had the lead. What did he do? He literally let that clock run the whole way and just kept it pushing. Get 3 yards every play. 4th and 1, what'd he do? Same play he done all season. Go right, Tyreek Hill, boom, first down. So, the Chiefs have multiple avenues of winning the game. Like, there's that. And I'm literally taking them based on the fact that Bucs defense could not get off the field versus Aaron Rodgers before the interceptions. It was 28-10 at half. That game ended, 31-26?
Something like that. I forgot the score, but it was something.
So,
it was like
a 5-point game, bro. The Bucs literally did not score anything but 3 fucking points. They looked like us in that Super Bowl that we fucking lost. So the Bucs defense only stayed off the field because they got Aaron Rodgers nowhere to get off of those 3 interceptions that Brady threw. We got to be realistic and understand they have flaws too. And that's where I currently am.
I agree.
That game ended 31-26.
To also be realistic, they didn't have neither one of the safeties, and they didn't have Peter Baker. They'll have all 3 come Super Bowl. Yeah. So
I think it's gonna be a lower scoring than people think.
Yeah, I definitely think the game is gonna be like
21-24.
I won't even say that low. I'll say I go a little higher. I go
the over under is 56.
I go 28-24.
The over under 56 points. So 21-24, that is 52.
Yeah, so I go 28-24. I give you one more touchdown to the Chiefs. And it was 21-10 at halftime. I'm sorry, but then the Bucs came out and scored immediately. So it was 28-10. And they almost had that comeback. It was 28-26, bro. I'm even though they didn't have their safeties, when they did have their safeties.
Mahomes about to win back to back.
When they did have their safeties, though, and they played in week 12. Tyreek went for 203 in the first quarter. So now you got to adjust to guard Tyreek. You still got Mecole Hardman there, who's going to play underneath and get open. Sammy Watkins is coming back, and then Travis Kelce. So both teams are getting better when it comes to the Chiefs offense versus the Bucs defense. And I'm going to love that matchup.
Bro, it's Mahomes.
And Clyde and CEH is back too. So mind you, AB isn't guaranteed to play yet. There is that. DeMarcus Robinson cannot play in the bowl because he's on the COVID list. So they don't have DeMarcus Robinson. So you immediately know Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins, Travis Kelce, Mecole Hardman, and Byron Pringle. That's your receiver setup. And Le'Veon's back.
They are down 3 linemen, 3 starting linemen. Eric Fisher's not there.
He tore Achilles. You're right. But this is why I'm saying what I'm saying, though. That's why that quick strike offense is going to have to matter. You still got to guard Tyreek Hill. You're immediately putting Devin White on Travis Kelce. So Mecole Hardman has to step up. Sammy Watkins got to step up. It's just going to be a game of trying to figure out how do people step up.
Let me tell you, I was going to say, though, Left, I don't think it's going to be a big game for Tyreek Hill. Let me tell you why. He's going to be doubled the whole game. Not necessarily double pressed at the line, but there's going to be a safety up top the whole game.
Yeah. If I'm Todd Bowles, I'm not sending no safety blitz at all. I don't give a fuck what you say.
No, at all. Mahomes got to beat me with his arm. I'm not saying he can't. Of course he can, but I'm saying that's gonna have to be the way he wins because I'm not giving Tyreek Hill the up top. I'm not giving Sammy Watkins the up top. The real piece is going to be Travis Kelce with the trick plays and Miko Harmon with the bubble screens. That's going to win them the game. Mark my fucking words, bro.
Yeah, it has to be that. It has to be that.
If they win, that's how they win. If like Tampa Bay, if they can hold that clock down, if they can hold Mahomes to like 2 possessions, if they can hold Mahomes to 2 possessions a quarter, if Brady can murder him the second quarter and hold him 2 possessions a quarter, I think Tampa Bay wins.
I mean, I say this, and this is just how beautiful this game is going to go, right? Chiefs offense is first overall. They're first in passing. Guess who's second in passing?
Not Tampa Bay, is it?
Tampa Bay. Now look at the defense, though. Chiefs defense overall is 16th. Bucs overall is 6th.
I already knew that.
But here's the problem, though. Tampa Bay is 28th in rushing. All you got to do is play cover 3 and cover 2 the whole way. And now worry for if you Steve Spagnuolo, who knows how to blitz. He know how to beat Tom Brady. That's the key matchup for me. Steve Spagnuolo has beaten Tom Brady twice in the Super Bowl. He knows how to go at Tom Brady.
And just beat him last year.
That's all I'm going to say. That is all I'm going to say about that.
I think this Bucs team is better than any, but I think this Bucs team is more equipped than any Patriots team Brady ever had on offense.
I would agree. I just think that this is going to be one of the better Super Bowls we've seen in recent years. I just am going to stick with my gut and take the Chiefs, though.
Bro, God forbid anybody get hurt. I want this game to really be a fair. I don't want no excuses for nobody, dog. I don't want no excuses. Like, I want this to be a fun, fair game. I'm going to be stuffing my face.
The only people out for the game right now, like Lev said, Eric Fisher. Yeah, Eric Fisher is gone. DeMarcus Robinson and Daniel Kilgore can't play because they're on the COVID list. AB is still listed as doubtful, so he may not play. So,
bro, if I'm breathing, I'm playing. If I'm breathing, I'm playing.
I'm with you on that.
Real talk. This is the bowl. There's nothing after this. If I'm breathing, I'm playing.
Bro, I'm with you.
This game isn't gonna be as easy.
I'm with you, trust me. But I mean, you know,
it's gonna be
the Chiefs.
Crazy.
I don't think it's gonna be that easy for them.
Not at all. I don't think it's gonna be that easy either. I just think that we gotta remember once again, they know how to play from behind. So even if the Bucs do get up, Mahomes ain't gonna flinch like Aaron Rodgers did. That's my piece.
But my piece is that he doesn't have the protection that he is used to having. So when you have that defense with Todd Bowles loves to throw blitzes from various different ways, that quick strike offense is going to shrink the field. That works in the Bucs' favor. We don't need Tyreek Hill going on a full. It does.
Okay, and let me combat that. Sean McDermott thought the same thing on that Tyreek Hill play, and what the fuck did Tyreek Hill do? It was an underneath pass. He turned that shit from a 6-yard gain into a 70-yard gain, and he burnt everybody on that defense.
And that's what I just said.
They don't have nobody on that Bucs defense is as fast as Tyreek Hill, so that's why
I get that. But again, Patrick Mahomes had the protection that he is comfortable with, where he can make
Eric
that
Fisher
decision.
was out the game at that point. What do you mean?
Yeah, and he's also down 2 other linemen that he's been.
Mitchell Schwartz been gone all season though. He's always had Mike Rimmers on the right tackle. The only difference is that he's been gone those 2 linemen all season. You're making a bigger deal out of it than it is. Those 2 linemen have been gone all season. One is a doctor in Canada who's been gone since the beginning of the season.
Hold on, one's what?
A doctor in Canada. He has a doctorate degree. He's a doctor in Canada. He's been gone all season. Mitchell Schwartz opted out. He's been gone all season. So his right side, his good side has been gone all season. So that's no excuse. Eric Fisher being gone is a different scenario because you're going to get different looks from Shaq Barrett and JPP. I give you that. I'm not discrediting.
And I think that's the point. The point.
But Left is saying the 3 lineman thing, but the 2 on the right side been gone all season. And he's been fine. It's the 1 lineman that I'd rather focus on, not the 3. It's the 1. The left tackle has been gone. The all-pro left tackle, Pro Bowl left tackle is gone. I will focus on that rather than the other two.
That's
Them dudes been there all season. They know what to do.
That's a fair counter.
You can't take away the other two guys on the right side of the field when that's been that right side all season long. They've been gone all season. Eric Fisher, though,
have they played
I'm with you. They played the Chiefs and Bucs played week 12, and the Chiefs won 27-24. The Chiefs were up 27 to like 10, and they got Brady off the field and they lost because they couldn't score.
So if you're Tampa Bay and you win, are you kicking first or are you deferring? What are you doing?
If I'm Tampa Bay, I want the ball.
I want the ball, right? I want the ball, right? I want to set the tempo. I want to set the tempo offense. Yeah, I want the ball. If I'm Tampa Bay, give me the ball first.
Looking at the last meeting, I'm gonna go to this week 12 game and read it out to you how the score went in the box score, just so we can understand it a little bit better with those two right guard and tackle being gone. That Chiefs and Bucs game by quarter, the Chiefs were up 17-0 in the first quarter without those two linemen in week 12. I don't think anybody was hurt in that game. And if they were, I don't know it. So I can't speak on it. First possession of the game, field goal for the Chiefs. Brady got 5 plays, punt. Chiefs, punt. Brady, punt. Touchdown. Patrick Mahomes, 75 yards. Tyreek Hill. Brady, punt. Touchdown. Tyreek Hill, 44 yards. That's the first quarter. It was 20-7 at halftime. It was 27-10, middle of the third quarter. Tyreek Hill had 3 touchdowns. Brady played comeback. The Chiefs held the ball the last 4 minutes of the game, and that's how they won. They kept them off the field. So we know the Chiefs didn't play from behind that whole game, and they held on to win. That's a game they had to hold on and prevent a comeback. I think in this game is going to be the opposite. I think the Chiefs got to come back. I'm agreeing and thinking Brady's going to just come out and fire. He's going to come out and fire.
Brady ain't got nothing to lose. He made it to the bowl. He showed
exactly.
that he has nothing to lose, if you ask me.
He don't, bro. He has nothing to lose.
If you lose, you lost to fucking Mahomes. You lost to the future. You know, that's the way I look at it.
You just can't, bro. Tyreek Hill had 13 catches on 15 targets for 269 yards and 3 touchdowns. Travis Kelce had 8 receptions on 8 targets for 82 catches. Sammy Watkins 4 for 7, 38 yards.
That Tyreek Hill, that's not happening again. He's not gonna have a big game.
That's really it. Brady got picked off twice at that.
Yeah. I mean,
picked off twice, only got sacked. He only got sacked 1 time. The Bucs did build their own line. I mean, I'm not mad at it. Ronald Jones had 66 yards on the ground. Gronk had 106 on 7 targets, 6 catches. Chris Godwin had 97 on 8 catches. Mike Evans only got held at 50 yards.
But another underrated thing is
AB even played that game.
Even though there's really no fans, Tampa Bay is literally at home.
They were at home. As much as I want to give you that excuse, they were at home week 12. And they still lost.
Like, I don't have them losing back to back. I just don't have them losing back to back. Like, I'll flip the score 27-24 Tampa Bay, if anything.
It's gonna be interesting. That's the best thing about this for us.
Variables, because Kansas City's offense is so dynamic, you can't really key in on one nigga. Like, you can completely remove Tyreek Hill from the game. Now you got to deal with Travis Kelce and freaking Sammy Watkins.
And they still went off in that game, even though that happened. That's the craziest part about it.
It's too much, but that leads me to believe that Brady is going to win. Like, this right here is what GOATs do. Like, this,
you know what?
He's about to prove it, bro.
This is what I'll say, and I'm agreeing with you on this. Mike Evans got to play a bigger role this time.
Yeah,
you can't have 3 catches on 9 targets for 50. I mean, you had 2 touchdowns, cool, but
you have to be more effective on offense.
Antonio Brown had 11 yards. Chris Godwin had 97, so Godwin was your go-to. Gronk had 106, he was your go-to. So if you're the Chiefs, you got to guard Gronk. You got to guard Chris Godwin. AB might not even play, so that'll make it worse. Scotty Miller didn't do anything in the first game. But now that all of a sudden he burnt Kevin King, who's a fucking bum, now you got to worry about Scotty Miller.
Scotty Miller got benched for AB.
Yeah, but now if AB don't play, Scotty Miller got to come out there and show out. But I mean, the Chiefs defense did what they were supposed to do last time, and their entire defense played. So it just depends, bro, on what happens. That's really what we can say.
It's worth talking about that. You can argue, there's no Tyreek Hill on that team, but Tampa Bay's offense is really stout. They're really good. They're just as good, if you ask me. There's no Tyreek Hill, but they're just as good. Like, they got a superstar tight end. They got a superstar wide receiver. They can run the football if they absolutely have to.
Bro, they're the same team in different conferences, bro. That's how I see it.
And they have a better line. They have a better offensive line currently than Kansas City.
Yeah.
Big stage. Gotta see.
It'll be interesting to see though. Hey, last thing I got though for y'all, we gonna get up out of here. To my girlfriend, if you watch this, I apologize for what I'm about to ask. Nicole, I know you probably watch our podcast too, so I'm apologize to you too. Have y'all been seeing the silhouette challenges by these females? And the only reason I'm asking this is because of what happened to Chloe Bailey. That's the only reason I'm asking this question.
Nah, put me on.
Okay. First off, have y'all been watching them? Just to be, we men. It is what it is, bro. We men.
Yeah.
Okay. So the silhouette challenges, first and foremost, kind of was started by Chloe Bailey. She did a little video in the blue light in her room when she was dancing on Instagram. You know, she's showing off her body positivity, just like any other woman in the world. You know, your Lizzos, your Megans, all of that.
Is she fat?
Mm-hmm.
No, Chloe Bailey is very thick. She's like very, very beautiful. So the thing about it is, you know, she's only 22 years old. Part of the duo Chloe and Halle. Halle's out filming Little Mermaid right now. She was cast as Ariel, so Chloe's by herself and now has her own Instagram account. She's been posting all the stuff she's been doing and all that stuff like that. She got a video where she was in a t-shirt and panties, like burning sage in her house, and women are standing it and happy for it. But then you got your haters. You know, people just saying, oh, all of a sudden you believe in your sexuality, you posting your body on the internet, and they're shaming her, and they made her cry. She was on Instagram Live and cried about it because she didn't like the negative attention she was getting that came with the positive attention she was getting.
Hold on, but problem with it though, like why are they saying that? Like, is there like a background? Did she used to hate body shaming or something? Like,
no, she just didn't post her body. She just, you know how women know what they're doing when they do these body positivity challenges, right? And for my ladies who listen, I'm not speaking for women. I'm just speaking on what I see on Twitter. So I apologize if this comes off in the wrong light. But basically speaking, you know, women are shaming her for being okay with who she is as a person and posting her body how she's posting it. Just like the same way, you know, with Lizzo, everybody's like, yo, Lizzo, why you got your ass out at the Lakers game? You know what I'm saying? There's no issue with you posting your body on your account. That's your account. Do you? I'm not going to judge you for what you do in your account. In public, though, yeah, like, tone it down a little bit. You're doing a little too much in public.
Probably judge you. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, like, half the internet is just on some, you know, why is Chloe trying to show off all this stuff like that and get this attention that she got and things of that nature? Like, she was never this person. So it's always that. And somebody tweeted this, you know, when are we going to hold Black women accountable for shaming other Black women?
It's funny you said that. Before you even said that, I was literally about to ask that. That's crazy. I was just about to say, so at what point are Black women going to stop shaming each other before they stop bitching about the whole world shaming them? At what point do they stop shaming each other?
Yeah, and this is not us getting in women's business. It's just a question I thought I would offer because some of our listeners probably got the same question. For any of our women listening, you can tweet us, comment all that on any of the videos that we post and just answer the question for us too. Like, what is the issue with Black women shaming Black women or a Black person shaming another Black person? Like, why? If she looks good posting her body, let her post her body. She's a grown-ass woman. She's a celebrity. She gonna get hate anyway. But the thing about it that pisses me off, and this is where I am going to get in Black women business, how do you talk down on somebody who does a silhouette challenge, but then you go do it?
Sound like jealousy to me.
That doesn't make sense. You mad somebody is sexualizing themselves, and then you go sexualize yourself because you did the challenge too.
It's like it's one of those things where you speak too soon, and then you realize, like, oh shit, this actually isn't that bad. It's one of those things. It's like Black women were so quick to shame her for what she did, but then they realize, damn, this isn't really that bad.
Because it's going to bring them the attention that they want.
Exactly. At first, it was jealousy, but then they turned that jealousy into an opportunity.
Yeah.
Let me try it. Yeah. That's the way I look at it.
I just want to understand, like, as a man, from a woman perspective, like, woman, y'all can tell us, like, at me on Twitter at Night Scream TV or anything of that nature, Instagram, all of that. Like, let me know. Like, let us know. Give us a break podcast on Instagram. Like, what is it about another woman sexualizing herself that makes you feel like you don't like it, but then you'll do it too? It's just weird. And that's why that meme is going out now. Like, hey, you know, the dude was like, yo, suck a dick. And the girl was like, ew, no. But then it says hashtag suck a dick challenge, and a woman will go do it. Because they did it with the Buss It challenge. Women out here real life getting babies put on their face for a Buss It challenge because of a butt. Like that shit blew my mind.
Are you serious?
That's wild.
What am I doing? I'm not keeping up with any of it.
Bro, there are multiple. I don't know if there's sex workers or porn stars. I don't want to incorrectly say it about them that way. But there was a girl who posted on Twitter the Buss It challenge. She had a robe on, and then she was giving a dude head and let him bust on her face. And that was her Buss It challenge. Another girl did it.
Okay, bet.
And another girl did it where she was bouncing on dude dick, and all you see was a whole bunch of women complaining, damn, that shit dry. You must not have good pussy. All y'all doing is shaming each other. Like, what is this?
I mean, they doing it for free. So
that's a crazy, bro. That's a crazy
wild,
conclusion. Damn, that shit dry. You must not have good pussy. Damn,
but it's the thing is,
for like 2 hours. Eventually, it does dry out. You ain't got no KY, bitch. Fuck. Like eventually, it dry out. Like real talk. How people
that is realistic though.
Without thinking, but you see how fast I came to that conclusion. Like maybe they've been doing it for a while. I'm not gonna just say, damn, they've been fucking for 5 minutes. I heard shit garbage. What? Humans.
Who cares?
Why
Who cares?
Women care.
Why do we care? Why do we care? What? That's the question. Why do we care?
Right. Why are we always in competition with each other over every single thing? I can go make a challenge right now that's something that's peculiar, and people will be like, what the fuck are you doing? You know?
That's how the Junebug challenge is currently. Most of us all know who Junebug is from him being with Kenley on Fox. And now he got the little dance to the beatbox song, and everybody's doing it. Like everybody's saying, "Oh, that's the best one."
No idea who that is and where that came.
Hey, look up the Junebug challenge.
The most annoying thing to drive by and see somebody do. Like, it's by far. These challenges I get, all right, it's cool. It's fine. If that's what you want to do in your meantime, cool. I'll play video games.
Challenge, bro. It all started with idiots trying to eat cinnamon.
Yeah, it did though. That's where it started out. People want to be social media darlings, bro. That's the world now. Like people want to be social media darlings, bro. And
I didn't even know you can get paid on social media. I didn't even know you can get paid on Instagram.
Yeah, like paid promotions, all of that, dude. Like,
why do we care? Why?
It's human nature.
People will go to the most extreme lengths and literally degrade themselves for money.
Yeah,
but that's neither here nor there. That's like completely
it's like
all day. But
you treat everything you give out like art. So whether it's music, it's content, pictures, videos, it's art of yourself. When you put it out in public, you are subject to said criticism and said praise.
Yeah.
So you have to take it within each other. It's like, okay, yeah, somebody's gonna like it, somebody's not gonna like it. Goes back to that choice thing. They choose to not like it, they choose to not like it. Why do you care? As long as you put it out there, this is what you like, nothing should deter you from not liking this thing because someone else doesn't like it. Now you're looking for the approval of others. Like why? Like why do you care? If I post something right now, it's because I wanted to post it. I liked it. I moved on from it. If someone says, "Oh, I don't like that," or "That shit trash," it's not gonna make me be like, "Oh, I'll get rid of this," or "Oh, I don't." No, I don't care. If you don't like it, that's your business. I don't give a fuck. Why do people care?
That's the beauty in art, though. Art forces you to have an opinion. That's what it is.
And that's all it is a fucking opinion. It's not the laid down law where you gotta live your life by it. Like I understand some people get emotional about it, but it's
at the same time, I can empathize with somebody who cries on social media because the whole world is coming for them. Like it's easy to say you don't care about what people think, and you may not, but what they say is definitely going to resonate in your subconscious. You're going to hear what people say.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless whether you care about their opinions or not, you're going to hear it and you're going to think about it. And that's what happens. She probably don't care about people's opinions, but when you have thousands of people saying the same thing, you're going to be like, damn, are they right? You know, like, let's be real here. Like, I empathize with people who who go through that, because it's hard. Like, you can not care about what people think, but you're going to think about it. It's going to resonate, and you're going to say, "Damn, are they right?" Let's be real here. In private, by yourself, you can say you don't care all you want to.
I mean, but and you know, it go back to left point though. It's both of y'all points combined, where, you know, as a celebrity, everything you do is magnified anyway. So just like the whole courtside Karen thing with LeBron yesterday, everything you do is magnified, bro. Now that lady is famous, and she was donkey of the day. She done made a comment back to LeBron. People saying she's gonna get a reality show. They talked about it on Undisputed this morning. You know, once you do something with a celebrity and you get notoriety for it, you blow up, because celebrities live under that magnifying glass. The same way it shouldn't matter, because it's not your life. So why do you take so much pride in caring about it? But
that's a very, what that question you just asked is a very, very good question. And it's a very deep question. Like, why do we care about other people's lives?
Why do you watch somebody else? Why are you watching somebody else instead of making your life the same way?
Or improving your quality of life so you don't have to care.
Yeah.
Because it's been a point in society to dictate what we think is the ultimate end goal, the ultimate high. And social media, TV, radio, internet, they push you in a direction that makes it seem like this is where you want to go. This is how relationship goals and day goals and all of this shit comes up, because you look at these people who you only see the positive of and think this is where you want to be. When this rapper shows his multi-million-dollar mansion and all his cars, you say that's the top. So now you try to work towards going to that top. It may be an attainable goal, but you don't know the things that he's done or she's done to get to that point, the trials and tribulations, the heartbreaks, the goods and the bads. You just see the positive. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people get into said business thinking this is all that you got to go through. So that's a notion for like a big brother system, big brother, big sister system. Like, when you come into this game, like, listen, you may see all of this luxurious shit and all the things that we do and the trips that we take, but there's weeks of me crying because I'm going through what people are saying about me on the internet. And it's like, when you're prepared with those tools, it's like, okay, I know when I put this out, there's going to be some people that going to say something negative about it. But I know where this roots from, where this stems from, what this means to me, and I'm going to put it out. And what anyone say going to change the way I feel about it. So I think a lot of these child stars that become celebrities don't necessarily get the chance to do that. And sometimes it takes someone to tell them, like, listen, like, this is going to come with this. I know you want to be the best actor, the best singer, the best rapper, but this comes with this. You can get this chain, but you're going to get this chain letter. You're going to get this, but you're going to get that. Like, it's going to happen. But if you're prepared for it, I don't think she was prepared for that. I think she's always heard grace and praise. And then once she's seen the negative attention, she didn't know how to handle it because she wasn't prepared for it. So I don't think it's more so her essence in herself, where she's not confident in herself or her self-esteem is low. I just think she was never prepared to get negative attention. She was a child star, became a celebrity. All she's heard was grace. Like, rest in peace, Screech. Like, he was a child star. But with the character that he was and the things that he went through, he didn't have the time to grow. So he developed a drinking habit, he developed anger, he developed drug habits, and it hurt him to a point where he had cancer and passed away.
Oh, he died from cancer? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he just passed away yesterday, man.
Oh, he passed. I know he passed away, yo, but I never, I didn't even look to see how, I didn't look to see how he died.
To my knowledge, he's been battling the cancer for a little while now.
Yeah, he's been battling for over the past year. and it didn't get like really disclosed openly until like I want to say October, November 2020.
Yeah.
So kind of the same with Chadwick, to compare it, if I had to compare it to something.
Yeah.
So it's like you look at sports and how they have a farm system like the G League and mentoring programs where you got a lot of these OGs and these veterans that sit there and say, listen, the sport is a sport. You got that down pat. I'm here to teach you about the life aspect of the sport, the things you're going to deal with, allegations, how to remove yourself from situations, things you put out, how's it going to return you. Like,
good point.
a lot of these people, especially in acting, they see you as a competitor more as a peer. We're going to combat for this same role. So it's like, I'm not going to take you under my wing and teach you the ropes. Comedy is kind of in that same sense for certain people. There are some that are willing to help groom you and help you understand this is what's going to come with this job. So it's just preparation for things like that, as far as the Chloe aspect. Now, as far as people having always something to comment, it's that factor of they got it, I don't, so I'm gonna hate on it. I just take it as that. That's why it doesn't affect me as much. It's like, okay, you say something negative about it because you don't have it. Or okay, maybe you did it better. All right, that's your opinion. So it's like people take too much stock in what other people say about it.
Yeah. But
People definitely care too much about what, I won't say what celebrities are doing, but what other people in general are doing that they're not doing. If you put that energy into something you can make yourself better at, you'd be farther along than you are right now. So I guess the message that I would like to send, and I think we all could agree, waste less time focusing on somebody else and put more time into focusing on yourself, because you can be farther than where you are.
Yeah, most people don't know. It's a very simple concept. It's probably the last thing I'm gonna say is it's a very simple concept that all you have to do to feel better about yourself is just simply improve your quality of life. It can be the smallest thing, but just improve your quality of life. It doesn't always have to be monetarily. Do things that just make you happy and give you positive energy and positive thoughts, so you don't have to waste your time putting negative energy into the world and just talking down on other people on social media or whatever the case may be, talking down on other people in general. Find ways to improve your quality of life. Do things that make you happy. And that's all it takes. That's literally all it takes. Everything else will fall into place. Everything else would definitely fall into place. It's just so much, I guess it's just so much easier to just talk down on somebody than it is to put the work in and work on yourself. I guess it's easier to just talk down on people.
It is.
Makes you feel better about your situation.
Exactly. Rather than put the work in to actually improve your quality of life, you rather talk bad about somebody and make them look bad so you look better.
I just focus on the things I can control.
Yeah.
You can't control how someone feels about you.
I can't say it enough. It's crazy, man. Like, we got a long way to go as a community.
Yeah.
Like, Black people, we have a long way to go, man.
Mentoring is a big thing.
Mentoring is a major key, but you don't really have too many old heads mentoring. Like, old heads are setting the wrong examples. Those are the reasons people want to live the way they do, because they see how the people they look up to live. Why would I listen to you when I can go out here and wild out and listen to the guy who looks like he's having fun? So I don't know. What do I know? Just a guy that's been through it.
But we eventually become the old heads. And
right. That's crazy. Like, it's funny you said that.
Well, you already the old head, so
I be looking at the dancers and stuff, and I be like, damn.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm the elder statesman.
What age is old?
I mean, I guess if you're looking at
late 20s.
I can't even say age. I can't even say age. I think it's an old head.
I think it's a mentality.
It's just based on experience.
It's definitely a mentality.
It's a mentality, man. Being an old head is a mentality. Like I'd say I'm an old head to certain people when they ask me for like what they could do to improve their quality of life in situations like that. You know, that's just something that if I've been there and I can explain to you what would work and what would not work, I have an old head mentality because I already know it ain't gonna work. But you gotta bump your head to learn. So
yeah, you always leave a person with the option to choose what they want to do. But I'm gonna give you both sides. Give you an option to think about it. I mean, you choose what you want to choose, regardless of what. If you want to take my advice, that's on you. But I'm gonna say, for my part, I showed you the other side of the fence.
Yeah,
because I've been there before. I've seen how it looks behind that door. So if you want to do it, that's on you. But I'm gonna prepare you for what's behind that door. Choose to go through it. You choose to go through it.
Beautiful way to end it.
definitely, man. Definitely the good way to end on a positive note. Next week, I don't know what topics we'll talk about. We'll probably talk more about the Nets and how they're the best offensive team and the worst defensive team in the NBA. And we'll probably do a lot more NBA talking in general. We didn't do a lot of NBA talk today, but I think a positive message got put out at the end that a lot of y'all will enjoy. So we're the guys from Give Us a Break. We're going to sign off. And I don't have no catchy quote to say to end the show today.
Please don't. Please don't.
I don't have nothing corny to say. I don't have no dad joke. I don't have nothing corny to say, bro. I really don't.
After Mapletron, I'm good with the.
I think let's just improve your quality of life. We'll just make that the title. Improve your quality of life.
Yeah. I can go for that.